Hello, Danica here, and welcome to another video. Today I'm doing something different to what I usually do. I'm going to be doing a commentary on two new runners in the World's Hardest Game 3 scene. So this is very exciting. Allow me to introduce the people that you will be watching today. On the right side of the screen we have VideoCake, who joined the Discord server in early 2021. Started doing full game runs of the World's Hardest Game 3 in February this year, and the run we'll be watching today is his 3908, which was set on the 11th of April, and this was his first sub 40, which put him in second place on the leaderboards. It's not his current PB, but I chose this because I wanted to look at his first sub 40, and I'm also going to be looking at the first sub 40 of Raflikk, who just joined the Discord server a couple of months ago in January this year. He did his first ever run through of the game in April with a time of 1 hour and 3 minutes, and set this time that you're about to see of 39:58 just a few weeks later on April the 13th. And the time he got, 39:58, scraped under 40 minutes by just 2 seconds, which put him on third place in the leaderboards. Now, neither of these are the current PBs of these players, but I hope you'll see as we watch that it's a very entertaining comparison to see. If you want to see the current times, then check out the speedrun.com leaderboards, linked in the descriptions. But without any further ado, let's get cracking. Okay, here we go. Starting off the run in 1A2. Alright, here we go. Now, not much difference in 1A2, that's to be expected, that it's exactly the same here. But we are going to see a difference in 1B2. Raflikk on the left going for the enemy clip in level 1. This is a recently discovered clip which has reduced the level 1 IL to a time of 1:35, and I believe we will see Raflikk get a 1:35 right here on the left. VideoCake not far behind, just finishing C2. Raflikk goes down to 1B3 first. That's a fundamental part of the strategy he's using. VideoCake goes up to 1B1, which is the traditional strategy, the strategy that I usually use. Now the reason why there's these different strategies is that Raflikk wants to get all the coins before he goes to 1B1 in order to do a coin clip in 1B1. Whereas VideoCake is going for the older, more conservative strategy. He's just about to finish B1 now, heading over to B3, but Raflikk performs a key clip, very nice. He misses the key, but it doesn't matter because it's an 80% run, you don't need to keep the key. And there's the coin clip, beautifully executed. VideoCake is in 1B3, it looks like he missed a cycle there, that's unfortunate. But Raflikk is almost finishing, as I said, with a time of 1:35, which is crazy. So Raflikk has just finished level 1, and it's VideoCake who needs to catch up. But he's not far behind. So Raflikk's starting level 2 now, standard strategy in 2B2, make his way through 2C2, and VideoCake has just finished level 1. So not too far behind. Raflikk's working his way through the wheels in 2C2. No deaths from either side yet. It will be interesting to see when that happens. Obviously when they get in the later levels, the deaths will start to become more frequent. Raflikk now into 2C3. So I should maybe talk a little bit about the different strategies of these runners. VideoCake has been running World's Hardest Game 3 for a couple of months now, and he has very good consistency. He often uses easier strategies than Raflikk, which is fair enough because the strategies Raflikk uses are sometimes out of this world. Raflikk has just joined recently, but he is really innovating in terms of the strategies he's using. He's using a lot of new strategies that I didn't even know about, and we'll see if that pays off in this run. He has recently set a faster PB, and I'm sure he'll continue to improve. It's Raflikk still in the lead here in 1B2, but VideoCake not far behind. You'll see it says 2 deaths at the top for VideoCake, but that was there before it started. So actually Raflikk's the only one with a death at this stage in the run. VideoCake still behind, but not by much. We'll really have to see how they go in the later levels. Another death from Raflikk on the left. Fair enough, this part of level 2 can easily cause a death. VideoCake making his way through to A2. I don't think the strategies here are really very different from normal. VideoCake working his way over to the key, Raflikk working in 2A1. There is the possibility going for the key first in 2A1 before going for the coins, but it doesn't save a lot of time, so I don't know if that will be adopted by either of these runners in the future. Raflikk working his way down, ready to finish level 2. It'll be interesting to see what he does in 2A3, because both of these runners have been doing individual level speedruns for level 2 and most of the other levels. It'd be interesting to see what he goes for here. Yeah, he's going for we went for the fastest route. Very nice. Very nice level 2 from Raflikk, and VideoCake still not far behind. Now level 3 will be interesting to see, because Raflikk has a lot of different strategies in level 3 than what I would usually use. So he skipped the coins from the checkpoint in 2v2, and we'll see that he'll come back and pick those up later. Also, I'm not sure whether he's going to get the key in C2. Also a nice route through there. That's definitely something I need to learn. It's a lot faster than what I do. VideoCake has just entered level 3. So VideoCake is falling further and further behind at this stage, and we'll have to see if he can catch up. Raflikk all the way down in B3, and I believe he also has a faster route in this room. That was a bit of a weird maneuver, but okay. Yep, coming through here. Actually, it looks like a fairly conservative route there. Yeah, in his level 3 IL, he uses a faster route, but went for something more conservative there. And now he's heading up to C2. VideoCake working his way through B2, and he's about to go into B3, and I presume he's going to use the standard route. Raflikk dies on the left side in 3C2, unfortunately. But I'm curious if he's going to go for the key or if he's going to skip it. Looks like he's skipping the key, so this is a new strategy that Raflikk has been implementing, which is skipping the key in 3C2. Now what that means is you can't access 3A1 from 3B1. So you'll see how he accounts for that later in the run. VideoCake unfortunately having a death there in 3B3, costing a bit of time. He is certainly falling behind from Raflikk at this stage. But one of the things that you should know about these runners is that Raflikk is very strong in the early levels, and VideoCake tends to be stronger in the later levels, at least in comparison to Raflikk. So even though he's falling behind now, he will have a chance to catch up in levels 4 and 5. But for now, Raflikk is way ahead in 3A1, and he's just made his way through there. I think this is his first attempt, so no deaths in A1, which is very nice. VideoCake is making his way across. Fairly fast route through there on the right side of B2, and nice going through there as well. And let's have a look at Raflikk in A3, because he has some new routing through here as well. Yeah, that looks like some fairly nice movement. I definitely need to polish up my movement in A3, because it tends to be a bit haphazard, a bit of guesswork, a bit of improvisation. I haven't really solidified my movement in that room, but he looks pretty comfortable there, and that's a nice looking route. So now Raflikk is going to go. It's going to not go up to A1 as would have been the way I would have done it, but because he skipped the key in C2, he's going to go over to B2 and go up that way, kind of like the 100% route. And VideoCake is just working his way back from A1. It looks like his route here is not as fast as what Raflikk was doing, at least not this section right here, but he made it through without dying, I think. I can hear a lot of deaths on Raflikk's side of the screen, so that's unfortunate, but I don't think he lost too much time. Oh, he just died at the end though, that's unfortunate. So he's struggling a little bit with this section, which makes sense because that maneuver at the end is a bit tight. Oh, and an interesting maneuver there. And unfortunately it's not paying off for him on this particular occasion. So it looks like he's given up and he's going the normal way. That's unfortunate to see, but at least in the future, once he gets consistent at that, he will be able to do that. VideoCake working his way back through 3A3. Now the clock is currently at 9 minutes. I used to think that that a good time ending level 3 was about 10 minutes 30 or 11 minutes, but we'll see that Raflikk is going to do much better than that, I think. And VideoCake is not doing badly at all. He's heading into B1 now. So, although he is behind, he is not falling behind by much, or at least it's happening very slowly. Raflikk has a lot more deaths, but that's mainly, I expect, because of a lot of those deaths. I mean, he died about 10 times on B1 just a moment ago. And just as Raflikk is leaving C1, VideoCake is entering C1, so there is definitely a significant time difference, maybe 20 or 30 seconds. But we're still in the early stages. Even though we're about to finish level 3, we're only 10 minutes into a 40-minute run. The last 2 levels really will be the decider. And just like that, Raflikk has finished level 3 with a split of 10-15, which is very good, although he has done much better in recent runs with a sub-10 split for the first 3 levels, which is very impressive. So yeah, Raflikk dives into level 4 and no problems so far. VideoCake just coming out of 3C1 now, and he's going to grab those coins. Still only with 9 deaths. In total in the run, VideoCake ends up with 57 deaths and Raflikk ends up with 76. So similar numbers, but definitely less deaths for VideoCake, which I think reflects the fact that in general VideoCake tends towards the more consistent strategies that are generally slower, whereas Raflikk is going for the faster, more risky strategies. And there's benefits to both mentalities, of course. VideoCake's just entered level 4. Obviously going for more consistent strategies is more consistent, but if you learn the faster strategies, you have a greater potential as to how fast your time could become. So VideoCake making his way through 4B2, while Raflikk is unfortunately dying a couple of times in 4E4 here, which is a bit of a shame. And he missed a coin there, but that's okay, he can come back for it. It will be interesting to see how these runners do in E5 and B4 in level 4. I mean, level 4 is a very important level in the speedrun, and those 2 rooms in particular. And Raflikk dies again on 4E4. That's a real shame, because you can lose a lot of time in this room. VideoCake, on the other hand, just coming through C4 now, and actually is getting a chance to catch up to Raflikk, because he's really struggling on E4, which is a real shame. Let's see how he goes this time. So VideoCake making his way back through 4C4 and into 4D4. It now is only just a single room behind Raflikk. Yeah, Raflikk has lost a lot of time on E4 here. But VideoCake also struggling on D4 a little bit, so both players a little bit stuck. Let's see who breaks through first. VideoCake taking a somewhat conservative route through D4. And Raflikk is still struggling on E4. I suppose it's one of those things, yeah, and both players on the same room now. It's anyone's game here. It's one of those things where I suspect the psychology has gotten the best of him here. Once you fail, 3 or 4 times, you're more likely to fail, 10 or 20 times. But that was a real rough patch. I mean, he must have been stuck there for several minutes. So here we are, both players in 4e5. It's absolutely neck and neck. And here they are entering at the same time. Oh, they both die. They're waiting for the next cycle. It's a race to see who can get it in the fewest attempts. Here they are both going. They both get to the key. Alright, can they make it out alive? They're both using the... I was going to say they're both using this... Yeah, they're both using the same strategy, which is actually different from my strategy. And they're both out, and it was VideoCake who was out slightly sooner, but that slight difference isn't going to make much difference in the long run. And now it's VideoCake in the lead, heading into 4d4, and let's see if he can keep up that pace. Raflikk dying a couple times in d4, he's losing time and falling behind, but here he goes, not too far behind now. VideoCake sweeping up the last couple of coins, and heading down, and VideoCake into c4 now. It really is neck and neck here. Both players in the same room. VideoCake dies, gets sent back. Oh, and Raflikk dies at the end. Who's going to be the first to finish 4c4? VideoCake's looking in a good position. Oh, got a little bit tight, but he is out and into the game. Into 4c3, I mean. Okay, so VideoCake stops to pick up those coins in the corner. And here they are both heading up into the upper level 4. They're heading for 4d2, where they will collect the key that unlocks the infamous 4b4. So VideoCake heading through 4c2 with the standard route. Raflikk looks like he's doing the same. No, he's actually going for a faster variant. Although it didn't work out for him because he died that time, but it's an interesting strategy. And VideoCake has unlocked 4b4. Can he get out of d2 alive? He's got the first set of coins, the second set of coins. Now this part here is interesting. What cycle is he going to go for? He's quite far behind, which probably means he might not make it. Yeah, he should have been... yeah, he should have been more conservative there. I thought he was going to step to the side and let the block go, but I suppose he thought he could get past it, but no, not in that position. So that's a lesson learned. Hopefully he won't make that mistake again. But he's out of 4d2 now, and with just 17 deaths, well actually it's 15 deaths, he is heading over to b4, and Raflikk has just finished d2 as well, so they're both in the same room again. VideoCake heading down to c3, just 2 coins to collect there, so he's done his work in that room. Raflikk unfortunately dying again, struggling a bit on level 4 here. And VideoCake taking a somewhat conservative strategy through here. And he enters the mouth of the beast. Now, it would be interesting to see how this plays out, because 4b4 is a real struggle sometimes. Speaking of struggle, Raflikk is struggling a little bit in c3, but he's making his way down. VideoCake with his first death in 4b4, he's attempting to get through the first major challenge. Looks like he might get through this time. Yes, he does. He tries to sneak ahead, but not quite. Raflikk is making his way over to 4b4, and so he will be joining VideoCake, and we will get to see them both struggle together. VideoCake making his way over to the key. This is one of the tougher segments, one of the longer segments. So it's fair enough that he is dying here a fair amount. And Raflikk making his way to the first checkpoint. VideoCake has made his way to the final checkpoint, needs to get the key and then make his way back. It'd be interesting to see what he does with the key, because I think he might go for the fast strategy, which he does. And is he going to make it? Yes, he does. Very nicely done. That's a strategy I've never quite been able to get my head around, but I may have to try and pick it up. So VideoCake has secured the key. Another small death there. He's on his way back. Raflikk seems to be struggling quite a lot at the beginning here, because he's still just in the middle, but now he's making his way. Oh, he's going for the corner cuts. Oh wow. Okay, just for one, just for the first one. That is ambitious, but it looks like he made it work for him there. Yeah, it worked very well for him there. VideoCake, on the other hand, is making his way down through the middle. So he is almost out of here, although he has... Oh wow, he's getting unlucky in the middle here. There he goes. Raflikk collects the key, but he's going for the conservative strategy after the key, not doing the fast cycle. VideoCake now on what is, in my opinion, the toughest section of B4. Mostly psychological toughness, because it is the last section of the difficult part. Raflikk not too far behind, he's now making his way down the middle. And VideoCake is out of the beast's mouth into safety. Raflikk still on that last section, but not far behind. And it is 19:44 on the clock. Both players nearing the end of level 4, which means they'll be heading into level 5 in the low 20s, which is a very respectable time to be beginning level 5. And VideoCake's route through here is a little different from mine, but it seems to work. Raflikk still struggling on that final section. I can tell you it can be really brutal, but he'll make it through there eventually. VideoCake working his way back through 4C2. And now through 4B2. Looks like his route here is a little different to mine. And Raflikk is finally out of the most difficult part of 4B4. Oh, an unfortunate death from VideoCake right there in 4B2. That costs a fair amount of time. He's going to give it another go. Looks like he's doing a different route this time, so I wonder whether maybe he made a mistake in his routing the first time. It's hard to tell, but it looks like he's got the hang of it now. And Raflikk is now rapidly catching up, making his way through C2. VideoCake into 4A2, grabbing the coins on the right hand side. This is one of those rooms that you really have no excuse to die on, except that it can happen. I mean, it happened to me in my PB run, and I think we'll have to wait and see how the players do in 4A2 here. Raflikk, and both players die. Raflikk with a death in 4B2 and VideoCake with a death in 4A2, so they're both sent back absolutely neck and neck to the checkpoint here. Oh, and another death from Raflikk. This room 4B2 can be very tricky, especially when you're trying to do it fast, because there are some tight moves that the players have to do here. So it looks like it'll be VideoCake heading into 4A2, slightly ahead of Raflikk, but they are pretty much neck and neck here. Let's see if they both make it to the checkpoint without dying. At this point, the players are just concentrating on the memorized pattern that they have here, and making sure that they go backwards at the right time and forwards at the right time. There is the possibility for a main menu pattern reset at this checkpoint in the middle, but I don't expect that either of the players will actually use it. Let's see. VideoCake is the first to touch the checkpoint, and Raflikk is the second, and it looks like they're both just waiting here for the cycle, but VideoCake's cycle is going to start first. Here it comes. VideoCake is entering the pathway, and hopefully both players make it through this. We'll have to see if any of them mess up any of the moves here. So far so good. They'll soon be heading into level 5. And it's VideoCake on the right side who's slightly ahead. And neither player has made a misstep so far, which is very impressive considering how new these runners are. They clearly know this pattern very well. And it's VideoCake who's the first to touch the checkpoint, and Raflikk shortly behind, heading into level 5. Raflikk is just a couple of seconds behind. It is neck and neck here, heading into the final level in the game. VideoCake comes back to the checkpoint to save. Raflikk is going on ahead, and so he pulls ahead actually by doing that move. It's risky though if he dies, but it looks like he knows what he's doing. And VideoCake unfortunately did die, but because he saved the coins, he doesn't have as much work to do, so that's good. Raflikk on his way back along the bottom. VideoCake seemed to pause there for a little while. I wonder if he was just waiting for the cycle, or if there was something else going on. So both players making their way through 5A4. This is a very epic introduction to level 5. Lots of fast moving enemies in here, but not the hardest room in level 5. So Raflikk is the first to make it to 5B4, and he collects the top left corner of coins, and now he's getting the top right corner. He's also got the key, so he's made quick work of 2/3 of the coins in there. Unfortunately, he dies on his way to the key. VideoCake now enters 4B4 as well. Both players in the same room, very close. Looks like VideoCake is going for a similar coin strategy, although he actually doesn't get all the coins in the top right corner at this moment. And VideoCake also dies on his way to get the key. It can be a little bit tricky, that maneuver there. Raflikk is working through 5C4, and now he's on his way to D4. I'm curious to see what route he uses here. So far it's the same as mine. But he takes a... Ooh! Yeah, he almost did the faster route there, but unfortunately he died on the tricky part, which is giving VideoCake a chance to catch up. Looks like VideoCake got a little bit lost in C4, or maybe he just has a different route. Okay, Raflikk gets a successful attempt in D4. Can he finish it off? It looks like he can. Although he had to wait at the end, so I'm not sure his speedy strategy paid off there. It looked like VideoCake went for the key first on the right side. I haven't seen that. That was interesting. And Raflikk is heading up to C3. VideoCake not far behind in C4, mopping up the key and some of the rest of the coins. And Raflikk performs the key clip successful. Very nice. And oh wow, he looks like he tried to go in for an early cycle there. Although I don't think that that's actually possible. VideoCake going for a more conservative return on 5C3. Nicely done. Both players had no problem with the key clip. Very well done there. And Raflikk heading up to 5B3, and he's entering the maze on the left hand side, which in my opinion is one of the hardest areas in level 5 and in the entire game. So he takes a death there, and both players are neck and neck entering 5B3 here after Raflikk died. VideoCake is a little bit further ahead. But unfortunately he dies at the top, which is a common place to die. Raflikk with the key clip, but he dies just afterwards. Yeah, I expect we might see the players dying here quite a bit because, as I said, this is a very tough area. And especially at this point in the run, when you are starting to feel fatigued and nervous and stressed about the time that you may or may not get. Yeah, it can be very difficult to get through this room. So both players still struggling to get that key on the left side, trying to be fast at the same time, but too fast can be your downfall. Oh, and VideoCake's going for the clip as well. I didn't realize he was doing it too. So both of the players are using the key clip. And it looks like VideoCake is the first out successfully, and Raflikk is right behind. So both players save the key at pretty much the same time. VideoCake goes over the right side, but then realizes that he left the coins behind, which allows Raflikk to pull ahead. But Raflikk gets an unfortunate death there. I'm not quite sure what happened there. I suppose he wanted to just move up a little bit, but accidentally moved up too much. So it's VideoCake ahead, going for the coins in the middle. And is he going to go for the fast cycle here? It looks like he is. And does he make it? Yes, he does. Very nice. And then it's Raflikk going for the coins. And it looks like he's going for the more conservative cycle. VideoCake's on his way back. Don't bend to the pressure now. Okay, and he already mopped up all the coins in here. So VideoCake is done with the key and the coins in the left side of B3. So he's onto the right side. And Raflikk's also coming back safely with the coins. As long as he doesn't choke in this room, he's got them secured. VideoCake on his way down from 5B3. Very nicely done. Okay, pattern reset. He wasn't quite ready for that. But he doesn't lose much time there. Raflikk is just on his tail though. It's very close going into the upper section of level 5. Both players now heading up to 5C2, although Raflikk unfortunately dying in C4 is going to fall a little further behind. VideoCake now in C3, gathering the coins on the left hand side. It's about to make his way into C2 with a time of less than 30 minutes, which is very impressive for heading into the upper part of level 5. Raflikk, unfortunately, with several deaths in C4, is still stuck on this section of the game, and he's losing some serious time now. There's not much of the game left for him to catch up, so this is really an unfortunate situation for him. VideoCake working his way through C2 and now onto C1. It'll be interesting to see what strategy he employs here. So looks like he's getting the coins as he goes along, but doing it in a slightly different way to how I would do it, so that's interesting to see. Looks like he's staying calm and focused. He's got very clear movement, and Raflikk is right behind, but he's taking a different strategy. He's leaving the coins for later, at least the coins on the bottom, and also the coins on the top. Interesting, so he's taking a much more conservative strategy here. I wonder if he'll go for the checkpoint. He is. That's very interesting. So Raflikk is going for the checkpoint first before he grabs the coins. VideoCake, on the other hand, has already made his way up to the top part of 5C1, and he's doing a very nice job of the fast route up there. Raflikk has just collected the coins from the top row of the bottom part there, and now he's making his way through here, and he's using an even faster route, I think. Yep, and he's doing a nice job of it, but he's not as fast as VideoCake, who is on his way into D1 already. And this is another room which is quite important in the any percent speedrun, or in any speedrun really. So it'd be interesting to see how the players perform in this room. VideoCake has collected the 6 coins on the 100% side, and now he makes his way down to the bottom and the left. Small death there on the bottom middle section. Raflikk only a hair behind, collecting the coins up there. It really is very close at this point. And VideoCake now onto the last section, which in my opinion is the most difficult part of this room, so let's see if he gets it first try. He's doing well. And he made it, right? So as long as he doesn't choke in the next room here, VideoCake has secured that in first try. And now it's Raflikk going on the same section. And let's see how he goes. Unfortunately, he dies there on the cross part. That part is very difficult, so I can understand that. VideoCake, on the other hand, is making his way into 5D2, and this is a mammoth of a challenge for any speedrunner. He has to go all the way through here, down the corridor, all the way over to the key, all the way back, down into the coin room, collect all the coins and then come back up and then head over the top before he can get the checkpoint. And a single death on this area can cost 2 or 3 minutes if you get unlucky. But so far VideoCake has not died in this section, and Raflikk is entering 5D2 just now. He's a fair bit behind, but if VideoCake dies it could be anyone's game. And it's VideoCake heading into the coin room, and I'm curious to see what route he's going to use here. It looks like he is using potentially the Brad and Curab route. Oh no, it's actually different. And unfortunately Raflikk dies at the bottom of 5D2, so he's falling further behind. So this route from VideoCake, I haven't seen this before, so I'm guessing it's his own route that he's devised. And I'm assuming he'll get the key soon. Right, so he's got quite a bit of wait time for the key, so quite a conservative route he has there. But still, any route in 5D3 that uses a key clip is generally pretty good. And so VideoCake is out of the coin room without any problems, and it's Raflikk entering the coin room. VideoCake on the final stretch heading towards 5C2. This is one of the most tense moments, because if he dies here, he will be sent way back to the beginning of this room. But he does make it through, and with that he's in a very strong position. The only major challenge standing between him and the finish is, well, the finish. The final areas of A2 and A3. And Raflikk with, I haven't been watching closely, but a coin strategy that looks quite haphazard, which strikes me as odd, because he generally seems to be a very thoughtful runner, so maybe he hasn't got a chance to properly practice that room, or maybe he got thrown off by missing some coins. I didn't quite see what happened there. But he does make it through without dying, which is the most important thing. Yeah, you definitely don't want to die in the coin room. And now he's on a suspenseful stretch to see if he can make it back to the checkpoint, and VideoCake enters the grey. An early death, or a couple of small deaths there. Another small death. Okay, he needs to gather himself and focus, not rush into things so quickly. Another small death. Hopefully he can bring himself together and focus on the task at hand. Raflikk picking up some remaining coins in 5C2, and he's on the final stretch, but he is significantly behind VideoCake, so it will be very difficult for him to catch up at this stage. VideoCake collecting the coins on the left side of A3. At this point, it is a matter of focus, that he has to not die on this room or the next room in order to make it to the end of the game. So he's through A3, VideoCake making his way over through B4 and through the maze, but he is too far behind at this stage to catch up. VideoCake heading through the left side of A2 and now through the middle, and the position is still very suspenseful. Both players could die at any moment, and VideoCake needs to be very careful in these final sections not to throw away his lead. He has one coin left to get in the middle. Raflikk is making his way through A3, collecting the final coins. VideoCake is on the final section of 5A2. There's just 10 coins that stand between him and victory. This section is quite common actually to fail on, because things can go very badly if you find yourself in a sticky position in the cycle. And it looks like VideoCake narrowly avoided death, and he's out of there. He's safe. Raflikk going for the right side first, which is an interesting strategy. But VideoCake has safely made his way into A1, and assuming he doesn't manage to die on A1, he will be taking a victory in this post-commentary race. Let me remind you that these runs are both the first sub 40 runs from each of these players. VideoCake will finish with a time of 39 minutes and 8 seconds. but it is not his current PB, so check out the speedrun.com leaderboards if you would like to see where these runners are up to, because Raflikk has also beaten his PB. And at the time of setting this run, VideoCake places himself in second on the leaderboards, and Raflikk places himself on third, which is where they both stand at the time of this recording, but that may change in the future. And VideoCake has opened the doors, heads to the checkpoint with 57 deaths, which is actually 55 deaths in the course of the run. And so time for VideoCake will be stopping very shortly, and Raflikk on the left hand side is a little bit farther behind in the cutscene, and he will finish just 2 seconds before the clock ticks over to 40 minutes. So, I hope you enjoyed this video. I think it's fantastic that these new runners have joined the World's Best Game 3 leaderboards, and I wish them the best of luck in the future, and I'll see you next time. Thanks for watching.